Sure.
Okay, great. So first of all, everybody, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time this morning to kind of talk to us about our wrap up of the R3 program and our transition of additional services that are available to all of you over to CareerSource Tampa Bay. So, Salim, if you could advance the slide. So first of all, we just want to thank you from the R3 program. We have, first of all, served over 1,450 people in Hillsborough County. So these are all folks that have been impacted by COVID, and you have been integral in that through providing on-the-job training opportunities for these folks, paid work experience for these individuals. We've also put a number of people through occupational skills training. And overall, we've really impacted the community through these services, and you've all been a part of it, and we thank you. Advance, please. So some very critical closeout information for all of the employers attending today. First of all, the OJT program, the on-the-job training program, let's remember, right? This is really valuable to you because you're going to get reimbursed for the entire training period with these employees that you've brought on through this program. But there's some very, very important things you got to do to make sure you're getting reimbursed. First is please complete attachment 2 of your OJT training document. So it was in your original agreement that you signed. If for some reason you can't locate that or you don't have it, please reach out to your sector strategist, Carmen Cruz, Angela Lyons, or Marie Suarez. They can get you that form. So get the form, get it completed, send it back to your sector strategist so that they can process it. There are a few additional documents that you'll be asked for. Some payroll documents to verify that the particular employee was on your payroll for the training period. We'll also want to see a timesheet from the first week and the last week of that individual's training period. Don't need to see all of them, just the beginning and the end. And most importantly, all of this stuff has got to be submitted by January 5th. Once the January 5th deadline passes, we are no longer able to process any more financial requests. So this is critical, right? This is thousands and thousands of dollars for each of you. So remember, January 5th is a critical time. Advance. Another thing, very important, we're talking about money here, folks. So let's not forget that there is a retention incentive for every one of these people that you keep, whether they were OJT or paid work experience. And these individuals, if you hire them and you keep them on one day after their training period, you get a $2,500 retention incentive for each one of them. I don't know why the automation at the bottom is frozen. You may want to hit, there you go. So a couple of things. You need to complete the employer retention incentive request form that should have been emailed to you by your sector strategist. Okay, if you have not received that form, please reach out to Angela, Maria, or Carmen immediately to get that form. There will be some additional documentation that will be required. Payroll documents, right? What you need to do is you're going to need to prove that you've hired that person and show that after the training period ended, that they are now on your payroll. Again, all reimbursement requests have to be in by January 5th. If you miss that date, you miss the opportunity, and this is going to cost you thousands of dollars. So critical date. Please advance. So if you have any questions, you might be thinking, gosh, I want to know something about documentation. I don't have a form, whatever it might be. Excuse me. Please reach out to Angela, Maria, or Carmen, your sector strategists, if you need any additional support. Next slide. So what is the date you should not forget? January 5th, right? That's the date. Get it, and it's frozen again, so you may want to click that again, Salima. Thank you. We just need to make sure that everything is in by January 5th. If you have any questions about anything, reach out to your sector strategist. We want to make sure you've been a great partner in this program. We want to make sure you get the maximum financial benefit out of this. If you could advance one more, Salima. And now here's what I love about this, right, is you've all been a participant in this. You've helped a whole lot of folks in Hillsborough County. And CareerSource Tampa Bay has a lot of additional services that can help you on an ongoing basis, right? So even though we've expended the CARES Act funding, or we've obligated all of it to the programs that you've been a part of, there are additional programs on a going forward basis that can be tremendous in terms of helping you find talent. And also to subsidize some of the costs of the new hires that you make, as well as training opportunities for individuals. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Salima, and she's going to walk you through how CareerSource Tampa Bay can help you on a going forward basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Good morning. My name is Salima Bennett. I am a sector strategist here at CareerSource Tampa Bay. I am also the point of contact for all of the training programs. So those would be the WIOA, on-the-job training, paid work experience, and also our incumbent worker training program. I am going to review each program this morning, along with some of the other services that CareerSource does offer. Our employer services to each employer that we offer is free job posting. We do post on our state website, which is employflorida.com. We also have dedicated recruiters in each sector that is looking for talent for your positions. We are having, those recruiters do send you resumes via email, and that way when you do receive a resume from CareerSource, you are aware that this person is at least meeting your minimum requirements. Maybe you will have to interview them and kind of go through some sort of a hiring process, but at least you know their resume has met the bare minimum requirements that you are looking for. Throughout the year, we have a number of different events targeted toward different people. For example, we have a veteran job fair, we have a general job fair, more of a professional job fair, and any employer can participate in those job fairs as long as you have open positions at the time of the job fair. And that's always beneficial because those are free as well. It's a good opportunity for you to meet a vast majority of people. Since COVID happened, we have also been having job fairs online. So that has been beneficial for employers to still be keeping safe and looking for talent at the same time. We also are able to provide labor market information. You know, if you're seeing anything in your organization where you're posting a job and maybe you're not getting a lot of responses to that opening, that there is labor market information that we can provide to you that can show you where you stand against some of the same companies with the same position that they have available. That can let you know maybe your pay is not accurate, maybe your benefits are not available to, you know, are not appeasing to what some of the other companies are offering. And all of this information is free for you to receive from CareerSource Tampa Bay. Our on-the-job training program is a little bit different than probably what you're used to participating in the R3 program. Our on-the-job training program is available if you are hiring a full-time permanent position. So that position has to be over 37 hours a week. The position does have to be on our regional occupation list, which can be sent to you via email. And you do have to be committed to hiring this person on a long-term basis, unless something, you know, outrageous happens where you just aren't able to keep the person on because of performance or the, you know, your organization's inability. But enrolling into our on-the-job training for the unforeseeable future, you do foresee that that person would be with you It's on a scale, a sliding scale. So depending upon how big your organization is, you can be reimbursed either 50 or 75% of the new hires wage for a certain amount of time, not to go over 6 months. I'm sorry, 6 months. So 6 months would be the max amount of time that you would be reimbursed for their salary. Each position has its own set of hours that are allocated toward training a person. And I'm going to give you a very basic example. If you are interested in hiring a customer service position and you are stating that your customer service position needs to have high school diploma, 3 years of customer service experience, and be proficient in Microsoft Word, we might present to you some candidates that have a high school diploma or GED, maybe a year and a half of experience in customer service, and is familiar with Microsoft Word, but maybe not know all the ins and outs of that. For the time that it takes for that person to develop and sharpen the skills that they need to perform at the level that you're looking for is what you're being reimbursed for. So it should take, depending upon the person and the skills gap analysis, it could be anywhere between 3 months or 4 months that you would be reimbursed. There is some eligibility. You do have to be located in Hillsborough County. You do have to be at your location for at least 120 days, hold a valid business tax ID or receipt, and then the position does have to be full-time and permanent. And then there is some paperwork that does have to be filled out. You do have to sign an agreement. We do have to identify a training plan. All of this it might sound like a lot, but it's not as much as it sounds. The application is very simple. It's not anything, from another world. Most of the information that we are requesting from you, you probably have already provided to the R3 program, but we do have to have it on our application as well. So some of it might seem redundant, but again, all of it will be worth it once you are being reimbursed for candidates. I'm going to move on to our paid work experience program. This is our youth-driven program. We consider youth to be 18 to 24 years old. With the paid work experience program, employers do provide the job site location. So for example, you would have a youth candidate come to your location and they would be able to work for 24 hours a week for 6 weeks. You will be providing that candidate with all of their job responsibilities and duties. We won't be dictating to you how you should train or how the responsibilities should be divided. That is entirely up to you. The only thing that we are participating in is their employer of record. CareerSource Tampa Bay will be their employer of record. The youth candidates will be paid $11 an hour because that is the self-sufficiency rate for Hillsborough County. And that gives the youth and candidates an incentive to do well on their paid work experience. At the end of the paid work experience, you have someone who has been on your working with you for 144 hours. You can kind of determine if that person is coachable, if you really feel like they will be a good candidate for you on the long-term basis, and you can offer them employment on a full-time or part-time basis. If you don't want to offer them employment, that's fine as well. If you choose, if it doesn't work out, if maybe you don't think that this is a good fit for the candidate and the candidate feels the same way, then it's no harm, no foul. But if you do, at least when that person does come onto your payroll, they are pretty trained and have at least a good vast of knowledge on how you do things and what you expect out of them. The requirements to participate in our paid work experience program is very similar to our on-the-job training. There is an application, there is agreement, your business location does have to be located in Hillsborough County, as well as you have to be in business there for at least 120 days. All of the other things that is asked of you, you do you work with me to get them like the training outline. I work with employers to really assist them. All you have to do is really provide the job description so I know what exactly you're looking for, and I can pick and choose what exactly you are going to be training that person on to get you some of the hours that you need. Like I tell all employers is that these programs are free for you to participate in, and they could potentially save you, $5,000 or $6,000 per new hire that you hire on, and they're good for a year. So I would definitely encourage all employers to really take a look into these programs and to see how they can benefit you. The last program one of the last programs that we're going to talk about is our incumbent worker training program. This program is not for new hire candidates, excuse me. This is for existing staff. So anyone who has been on the payroll for 6 months, if you feel that you or your staff can really benefit from professional development, whether it be in Lean Six Sigma, it could be in leadership, marketing, any kind of professional development that you see fit that will gain you a certificate of completion, CareerSource Tampa Bay will assist you in paying for it. We do pay for it on a sliding scale depending upon your company size. So if you're a larger company, we would match you at 50%. If you're a smaller company, you could be reimbursed up to 90% of the training costs. So potentially, if you are looking to maybe participate in a Lean Six Sigma training course that is given through the University of Tampa, and it's $3,000 in your small business, you could potentially only be paying $300 for it, while CareerSource would pick up the other 90%. There are some eligibility requirements to participate in this program. You do have to be a for-profit company and have to be in operation for at least a year. You have to provide your FEIN number, your W-9, and have at least one full-time employee. As long as there's one full-time employee, then we can talk about the remainder employees that may not be on a full-time basis. You cannot have received funds from CareerSource Florida for the IWT program. Again, CareerSource will assist you in paying the tuition. If you are looking to have the training provider kind of personalize the content for you and your organization, we will assist you with that as well. Textbooks and manuals can be included into your grant awards. So there is a number of different ways for you to receive training through this program, and it can be very beneficial to organizations, especially after COVID. And, a lot of people have been taking on roles that they weren't doing before, and they might be doing well at them, but there's always areas of improvement. So being able to provide them with some sort of professional development is definitely beneficial to you as well as your organization. The last program that we're going to discuss is our Summer Job Connection program. This mirrors our paid work experience program very similarly, except that the Summer Job Connection program obviously takes place in the summer. It's a traditional youth employment program, and we are talking about individuals between the ages of 18 to 24. We are asking that employers provide meaningful work experiences where you are providing duties and responsibilities for youth candidates to do. They earn $11 an hour, and their employer of record would be CareerSource Tampa Bay as well. It's very rewarding to engage in our youth population because it is providing you the opportunity to mentor someone, which can be very rewarding for you as an individual, but also for your organization to really know that you have made an impact on someone's life and provided them an idea of doing something that maybe they didn't think about doing. I know that when I was graduating from high school, or when I was in high school, I thought that the only option out there for me was to go to college. But now, in the day and age that we are in, there's a lot of other options. You can go to trade school, and you can enroll into an apprenticeship program and then go to a 4-year school and not come out with as much debt because of just where you're at in your life. So providing these meaningful work experience is very beneficial for us as an individual, but also for the youth candidates. In the summer of 2020, we kind of transitioned into an online format where candidates participated in a 4-week career exploitation model. That is not something that we typically do, but we had to pivot because of shutdowns and things like that. Just recently we had a cohort that started in November. It is 8 weeks long. It was 24 hours per week. And again, the candidates were paid $11 per hour. This is just some graphs to show you who benefited from the youth candidate, how many of them were female versus male, their education level and their race, where the funding came from, and how many of them were able to be put into some part of a full-time or part-time job, and that was 91%. So that's definitely goes to show that these candidates, when they did go to their worksite location, they did put their best foot forward, and the employers saw that and benefited from that. Summer Job Connections 2021, we are beginning to look forward to that. We are going to have an application that will be launching January 4th. CareerSource Tampa Bay will also hold a press conference, which I'm sure everyone will be reminded of. You can visit www.tampasummerjobs.com in order for you to apply to participate in the program. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to unmute yourself, and we're here to answer any questions either for myself or for Jim.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, hey, this is Gautam. All those things you mentioned just now, are they listed somewhere on the website?
Yes, they are listed on our CareerSourceTampaBay.com website. But I will also, on the next slide, I have my contact information, and I could provide you a more in-detail explanation of each program versus the website, which is pretty general.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Salima.
Hi.
The January 4th deadline for employers or for the kids to register?
For the Summer Job Connection program?
Yes.
No, that's not for the kids. That's for that's not the deadline. That is the date that the application will open for employers to apply to participate into the program.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello, I have a question. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Santos from Enterprising Latinas. My screen sort of froze when Jim was talking about, I'm not sure if it was Jim or it was you, talking about the employer retention form. If we're keeping someone and we have to submit a form. So that's when it froze. So I didn't get to hear what else. So could you briefly describe that again?
So first of all, this is Jim Santos. Thanks for joining us. First of all, this entire presentation will be on the website if you want to go back and see any of it again, and that's for everybody to know. And then on the retention bonus, and maybe Salima, if you could you go back to that section again? It should be around slide 3 or 4. And we'll just touch on it again because it's really important. And thank you for asking the question. Oh, one more down.
Yeah, the next one. Yeah.
There you go. So the retention bonus is $2,500. You have to have them, you have to employ them, right? They have to be on your payroll 1 day after their OJT or paid work experience training period ends. So if their training period ended on December 18th and you hired them onto your payroll on December 19th, then you are applicable, or you can apply for the $2,500 retention bonus. I should say that you're eligible for it. So then you have to apply, right? There's an employer retention form, and you can get that from your sector strategist. So I don't know if it's Maria, Carmen, or Angela.
Yeah, it's Carmen.
Carmen. Okay,
Yeah.
so reach out to Carmen. If you have not already received that form, she can get you a copy of that form. Then once you've got it, complete it, send it to her. You'll also need to show some proof that that person, some payroll documentation, proving that they are now on your payroll. Critical thing here, Santos, and that is, again, January 5th is the cutoff deadline. So please, before January 5th, make sure you've got your documentation in so you get those bonuses, because I know it's worth a lot of money to you folks.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much. I thought that there was something else. So submit the employee retention incentive form, which I'll get. I think I have it, but I'll inquire again with Carmen, and then show proof that the person is on payroll, on our payroll.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Okay.
And get it to Carmen. If you have any questions, call her, right? And she can walk you through anything else that she might need. Just give yourself a little bit of time, right? So you make sure you get it all done. And we want to make sure you get the retention bonus incentive.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being a great
holidays.
partner. You've been a great partner in this process, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question, if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is Kevin with Ace Travel Group. I have a couple quick questions. First one is, are we going to be emailed this PowerPoint so we could just make sure that we're on the same page?
Our plan is to go ahead and post it and then send out a follow-up email making everyone aware. They can access it via the CareerSource Tampa Bay website, specifically the R3 page.
Got it. Okay. Next question is, we hired somebody in the OJT program. Their start date was September 17th. So when we're talking about the retention credit, does that mean that we need to show that they're employed on December 18th, which will be, 3 months after their start date? Obviously, we can't do that if we have the documentation right now. So that means we have to wait until 3 months, or what does that retention proof look like in that situation?
It needs to be, great question, Kevin. What is the day that the training period ends? So
I'm not sure when that is. I guess it would be, would it be 90 days, or do we decide that? Or
you'd want to look at your agreement. You should have received an OJT training agreement, and there's a start and an end date on that agreement. And so let's say the end date is December 18. If you put that person onto your payroll and they're on your payroll outside of the training program on December 19th, then you are eligible. So,
okay, so we have to wait.
It doesn't need to be 3 months. It only needs to be 1 day after the training period ends. And you just need to prove that they're on your payroll.
Okay, yeah, I see it's the 16th. So that means we have to wait till the 17th of December to, prove that payroll. And then we'll have that documentation ready for you guys by the 5th. Okay, that makes sense. I think that'll be helpful for everyone. So here's a question that I probably know the answer to, but I'm sure other people might have had this issue. There was some confusion and some delays in getting some of the candidates that we had on the program. So they ended up coming into the office before the actual start date of the program. Again, I see on every email what you guys say about it, but for example, with us, we had some delays with some of the staff in CareerSource, had to contact some manager, to get things going. Is there any good faith kind of exceptions on that? Because we're not planning to submit those people. We kind of just understand it might be a loss, but it was a good faith attempt by us, and we have like the email threads and all that. If the days are off a little bit, is there any exception or way to handle that? I'm sure other people probably have that too.
Yeah, Kevin, there were a few folks that had that issue, and we all wanted to be able to do that. Unfortunately, the regulations that we have to deal with the CARES Act money stated that it had to be, they couldn't be somebody that was already on your payroll before the period started, because then it would kind of look like you're just trying to do this for existing employees. So unfortunately, it's kind of a hard and fast rule that we're bound to.
Okay, I figured that. It's unfortunate because like sometimes it's like 2 days difference. I mean,
Yeah.
so we have 4 employees that we hired expecting this, and due to different delays and issues, only one of them actually has the proper, date. Some of them are off by a couple days. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see what we can do. And I'm sorry, the last question maybe would help everyone else too is so I was listening. Do you guys have another program that you said 6 months of reimbursement for new people as well? Is that something different? I've never even heard of that, but I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, that's our traditional on-the-job training program that we put on year-round. It is potentially 6 months, so it could vary depending upon the skills that the candidate has in the position that you are hiring for, but it could potentially reimburse you for a new hire salary for up to 6 months.
Got it. Okay, yeah, because we're going to hire more people, probably next year. Is that program start in 2021 or is that start even now?
It's now.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, that's all my questions. Sorry to take up so much time. Hopefully it was helpful. I appreciate you guys.
Kevin, that was a really good question. And thank you for that last question because, because yes, the R3 program was based on CARES Act money, but CareerSource Tampa Bay has significant federal funding to help you guys as employers on an ongoing basis every year. And it's great to know about these programs. Now, they're not as lucrative because it doesn't pay, for example, 100% reimbursement of that person's wages. But Salima, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 50 to 75% based on the opportunities that you have, which is still a really nice financial incentive for you. So great question, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Depending upon the size of your organization would depend upon how much reimbursement you would receive per new hire for their salary. You're right.
And I don't know if you were part of our beginning info sessions where we tried to make employers aware of R3 and R3 services, but we did state that the R3 program was, to us, one of the most simplified government programs that we've had the pleasure to work. And I just want to caution, Salima and her team have definitely taken out a lot of the process and made it streamlined, but there will be a little more process than what you experienced with the R3 program, just due to the different funding requirements, the rules behind those. And the actual timing of your hire decision is one of those critical pieces. But we would encourage anyone that needs talent, they need some assistance in identifying candidates, because we would love to refer job seekers that come to our door looking for jobs that meet your criteria over to you. In the event, it would also open the door for an eligible individual for an on-the-job training. And that's really what it's going to wind up boiling down to. You as an employer would have to meet some basic eligibility. The job seeker as well would have to meet that basic eligibility in order to open the door for the funding that would actually fund the on-the-job training or the paid work experience. Remember, paid work experience is specifically for youth in its current, how it's been implemented by the feds and the state. But Salima definitely is our expert and can help break that all down for you. And we encourage anyone with hiring needs, to definitely give it consideration. And if you need skills upgrade for your current talent, your current employees, that's where the IWT incumbent worker training could really come to the table and help you and your organization.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Don. Are there any other questions? Okay. Here is my contact information. Feel free to send me an email or give me a call to, talk further in depth about each program or in a particular program. As Don said, and I just want to reiterate that participating in a career source on the job training or paid work experience program, it is free for you to participate in the program. However, because of the different regulations, there might be a little bit more paperwork, but it's nothing that should turn you away from the program. Like I said, it's free to participate. The contract is good for a year, and it could potentially save you $5,000 or $6,000 per new hire that you are looking to bring onto your organization. Bringing on someone and training them, you know, you probably lose productivity and you spend a lot of time training and hiring, paying that person, and Career Source has the funds to help you out. I'm sure you should definitely take advantage of it. There are different sector strategists here. So I'm, you know, depending upon what sector that you are in, someone else might be reaching out to you, and it may even be someone that you are already working with, because Carmen, Maria, and Angela are also a part of our business services team. So it's all familiar faces. It's very simple programs. Career Source staff is here to walk you through it and make sure that you are, to make everything pretty seamless and easy for you, but it's not as the same as the R3 program, especially when we deal with bringing on candidates in the actual hiring process. So we will go. I'm sorry.
Salima, this is Daryl Johnson. Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is there any way you can stack the programs?
You mean like take a paid work experience person and then enroll them into an OJT program?
Yeah, correct.
Potentially, yes. There is a way to do that. We would just have to talk about the job description, go into detail about what the candidate will be responsible for in their paid work experience versus what they will be responsible for in their OJT program, which will be very different. So yeah, you do have the potential to enroll somebody from a PWE into an OJT, but that's not gonna always be the case. It depends upon, you know, the position and the person, because again, the candidate has to be eligible for both programs.
Very good. Thank you.
Is there a list of professional development topics Career provides, or is it? Hold on, there's a question in the chat. Are you referring to the incumbent worker training program, Santos?
I was inquiring more about what you were talking about, that Career Source can provide professional development for existing employees. So I was wondering if there was like a list of topics or that you would that we as employers could choose from, or is this like sort of like on a case-by-case basis?
So the beauty of the program is that really there's no list for you to choose from. Wherever you see the discrepancy in your organization and you feel that you will benefit from the training, and the training provider will provide you a certificate of completion, you can go with any training provider for any training. It just can't be new hire training. It can't be a language. It has to be professional development. So if it's sales, if it's marketing, if it's leadership, if it's you know, a hard skill or soft skill, depending upon the soft skill, again, not a language and not new hire information, then it qualifies for the program. So there really isn't a need for us to have a list.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, nonprofits do qualify for Career Sources on the job training program. I just want to give it a few more minutes in the chat in case somebody's typing. Okay, well, if again, my contact information is on the screen, please feel free to take a picture of it, jot it down, whatever the case may be, so that you have it. You know, again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. I am looking forward to being here to assist you after you have completed the R3 program, and to let you know what programs, even if it's just, hey, I have an open position and I I just want to get some applicants for it. You know, we do have a free service for that. So if there's any way that CareerSource can be of assistance to you after you have completed the R3 program, please, please, please feel free to reach out. I do thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. And if there's anything else, Jim, you want to add?
I think that's it. Thank you very much, Salima. And thank you everybody for attending and participating and being part of the program. So have a great afternoon. And remember, I think by the end of the week, we should have this presentation recorded and on the CSTB website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great day.
Thank you.